Right around the middle of the 19th century, a man named Alexander Carmichael, a Scotsman, started collecting the folklore of the indigenous people in the Outer Hebrides and in the Highlands of Scotland. Now, this was an area that the Protestant Reformation really didn't get to until probably early in last century. So it was an area that still had a lot of the prayers and incantations that even show evidence of pre-Christian origins. Really ancient prayers. And Carmichael realized that if he did not collect this material, it would be lost to all of history. So he did. He collected it into a work called the Carmina Gadelica, which means Hymn of the Gales. And I'm thinking about that because many of you know that when I left, I went straight to Wales. That's not hell, Wales, and in the UK, and went to an island in the English tongue. It's called Bardsey. In the Welsh tongue, it's called Ynys Enlli. And there I taught some students, and what we tried to do, we tried to reestablish the Celtic monastery that St. Cadfan established around 514. And to do that, I thought we really needed to observe the liturgy of that time. So I dug around and found the Laura Missal, probably the oldest missal. It's a mass that survives out of the Celtic world. Now it turns out of my students, 2 of them came from liturgical traditions, one a Lutheran, one an Episcopalian. The rest came from free church. And free church means free church. Protestant, probably, there was a person out of the Church of God tradition, a few Baptists, UCC pastor, and one of the things that the Stowe Missal, the Laura Missal, starts out with is a long, involved prayer of the saints. And it's a chant. Saint Cadfan, pray for us. Saint Francis, pray for us. And this went on for pages. And the Laura Missal was very explicit that you could not begin this Mass without the invocation of the saints. Well, the 2 people, the Lutheran had a little bit of a problem with that. The Episcopalian, no sweat. The free church people, what are we doing praying to saints? Good question. What are we doing praying to saints? And this one student, I had him do video journals, and I was reviewing what he was saying. It really caused him issues. That was early in the week. By the end of the week, after he had done this every day, we said Mass every day, he began to realize that calling upon these names, many that we didn't know, several that were familiar, some that was in the edge of consciousness, he realized he was calling the Church Triumphant to be present with us in a sacred moment. And more importantly, be present with Him as well. Bring that strength, to bring the resolve that they had in their witness as faithful Christians. I also got an email back from the UCC pastor. The week after they got back, they had to go to Drew and do a 2-week intensive course. And by the end of the first week, she said, I could really use the litany of the saints right now. And she was thinking about gathering the students that were there together to do that. It is important to remember those who carried the faith before us, and who more important to remember than our matron, the Blessed Virgin. The strength that she had, first of all, to accept. She could have refused to accept the mission that God laid out for her. The strength that she showed at the foot of the cross while her son suffered. What more could we ask for? That kind of strength when we face the trials and tribulations of our day that kind of strength and fortitude when we face the challenges we know in this moment and the unknown challenges that lie ahead. In the Carmina Gadelica, Carmichael recovered a prayer, and it's to the Virgin. And it's really suitable for today since we have a baptism on our feast day. It goes, "O God, in my deeds, in my words, in my wishes, in my reason, and in the fulfilling of my desires, in my sleep, in my dreams, in my repose, in my thoughts, in my heart and soul always, may the Blessed Virgin Mary and the promised branch of glory dwell. Oh, in my heart and soul always, may the Blessed Virgin Mary and the fragrant branch of glory dwell." I don't know of a more suitable prayer. That's a binding prayer that we could offer this day as we bring this little boy to the font and bind him as Christ's own child, the fragrant branch of glory. And maybe, if the parents remind him and the godparents of the sacred day on which he was baptized, maybe this binding prayer will be something that will be close to his heart as well.